So if you've been on the internet and social media long enough by now, I'm sure you've seen the viral clips of CVS and Walgreens and the thefts that happen there. A lot of times you'll see different stores that experience a lot of these thefts having up plastic display cases where you have to call someone over to take the item out for you. These clips are a dime a dozen. You see them all over the place. It's nothing special, but I think I've finally found the worst case I've ever seen in my life. Because we're not just talking about a few highly sought after items that often get stolen behind some plastic display cases. We're talking about the freezer aisle being chained up with padlocks. But before we go into that, let's go to today's video sponsor. Today's video sponsor is Aura. If you're anything like me, you've probably noticed that the volume of spam calls coming to your phone has been increasing in the last few years. This is particularly annoying for someone like me who works on his phone all the time, interrupting tasks, taking up time when you're answering, whatever. But luckily there's a solution to this, and that's where Aura comes in. You see, blocking spam phone calls is just one of the many things Aura does. Aura is an all-in-one online cybersecurity suite. It can identify data brokers exposing your info and submit opt-out requests on your behalf. Brokers are legally required to remove your info if you ask them to, but they make it very hard to do, so let Aura handle it for you. They also offer parental controls, antivirus, VPN services, password management, identity theft insurance, and you get everything for one affordable price. So you can either let malicious actors out there continue to exploit your information for profit or worse, stealing your identity, or you can sign up for Aura today using our link down below, aura.com/nuance, for a 14-day free trial. That way you can rest well at night knowing that your online activity is safe and secure with Aura. So a few days ago on Twitter, I saw a very well-known reporter in the San Francisco Bay Area, Betty Yu, post this clip. And you can see her tweet says, "The Walgreens at 16th and Geary in San Francisco has chained up the freezer section. Workers said normally shoplifters clean out all the pizza and ice cream every night. They're usually hit 20 times a day. The whole store is virtually locked up." So you literally have chains with padlocks in the freezer section. You have entire aisles, most of the store, behind plastic displays. I don't know, do you call them displays? You call them like security, blocking windows, whatever. I'm sure where most of you live, this isn't a problem. You don't have most of the items behind plastic guards. But in San Francisco, this is the norm. And in case you think the reporter or the employees at the store are exaggerating when they say 20 times per day, a different news channel went to that store for 1 hour, and here's what they saw.
It didn't take long. Within the first hour of being at Walgreens on Geary Boulevard and 17th Avenue in San Francisco, we witnessed multiple shoplifters. One of them even took the time to explain why he simply didn't pay. Off camera, a Walgreens employee told me they're hit anywhere between 15 to 20 times a day.
Well, that really says it all. When he walks out with that stolen merchandise and says, "It's San Francisco, bro," that's all you need to know. And he's correct, because in San Francisco, they don't care. They don't care about the crime. They don't do anything about it. And we're going to talk more about that in a bit.
Out of frustration, a week and a half ago, they decided to chain up their freezer section. This is one of the hardest hit areas in their store. Now, when you want something, you have to press this button. A message goes off on the overhead speaker, and an employee comes to unlock the freezer. According to the employee we spoke to, company policy says they can't challenge shoplifters, but this customer has.
Sometimes I've stopped people myself, and it just frustrates me so much to see the neighborhood fall apart and to have to ask somebody to, unlock things.
Almost every aisle has products locked behind plastic cases. We asked what the brown marks were. Turns out shoplifters have tried to burn the cases.
So you heard the reporter there mention brown marks that they saw on the plastic guards, and they asked the workers what that was about, and that the shoplifters would resort to using fire, torches, whatever, to melt the plastic guards in order to steal. There was actually a viral clip out of New York City where you could actually see one of these instances. As you can see here from the New York Post, brazen bandit uses blowtorch to steal $448 in skincare products from NYC Walgreens. Let's take a look at the video.
¿Qué es esto, padre?
Just so brazen, just so out in the open, using a torch to steal. And yeah, that wasn't a one-off. This is apparently happening in San Francisco as well to get over the plastic guards.
This vendor saw 4 shoplifters in the couple of hours he was working at the store today.
They just help themselves. It's a common thing. The problem is they're not punished.
SFPD's Sergeant Omar was on foot patrol outside the store.
It's getting worse, yeah, because more and more people are coming into the west side of the city on the 38 bus line. They're getting off and they're basically stealing out of this store.
He did not want his face on camera, but said he detained 8 people shoplifting yesterday.
People were entering the store and taking products, so outside, if they cross the threshold, they can be put under arrest. The 8 people that I took on yesterday, 7 of them returned the items. Well, basically all 8 returned the items. With one, there was a problem with one of them.
So, did you arrest anybody?
No, because the store didn't wish to put citizens arrest on. All they wanted to do was get their product back.
By the way, I just noticed that I'm filming this entire video with green lights instead of my usual blue lights. That was an accident, by the way. So if you notice that, give this video a thumbs up. It really helps out the video by giving it a like, helps us in the algorithm and pushes out the video. Very much appreciated. Anyways, you saw it in the video there. The man talked about how none of these shoplifters are ever punished. This is the issue. They cut over to the police officer who confirms this, that they stopped about 8 people or so. 7 of them returned the items. With one of them, there was a problem, but none of them were arrested. Now, believe it or not, in the state of California, shoplifting is still a crime. It is still an arrestable offense, even in the city and county of San Francisco. But the problem is they just have soft on crime policies. They refuse to enforce the law against these people because it wouldn't be compassionate. And that's why you've had well over 20 Walgreens closures in the city of San Francisco within the last 5 years. But when the mayor of San Francisco sees this rampant level of crime and seeing it cited as the reason for these closures, especially for stores like Walgreens and CVS, this is what she has to say.
KPIX5 reached out to Walgreens to clarify the reason for the closures. Spokesperson confirmed the company is closing those stores because of retail theft. However, today, Mayor London Breed shot back at Walgreens, saying crime is not the only reason these stores are closing.
Listen, they are saying that's the primary reason, but I also think when a place is not generating revenue and when they're saturated, San Francisco has a lot of Walgreens locations all over the city. So I do think that there are other factors that come into place. And so unfortunately, you know, I can't control what they do or what they say. I just know that ultimately we are here to work with Walgreens.
Now, following Mayor Breed's comments, KPIX5 reached out to Walgreens again for clarification on this. And again, a company spokesperson tells us those 22 store closures are a direct result of an increase in retail theft.
So yeah, that's basically what we're dealing with. We have a mayor who's denying that crime is the main problem here and refuses to do anything about it. And I have to say, as someone who grew up in San Francisco, I was born and raised there, the Walgreens that was featured in this video, I'm very familiar with. I used to go to that Walgreens all the time. In fact, right next to it was a Blockbuster I used to go to, and I'd go to it all the time. A block over was the movie theater, the Alexandria San Francisco movie theater I used to go to all the time as a kid. And this was actually a nice place. It was safe. Not everything was up behind plastic guards where people would come and destroy the place. The freezer section certainly wasn't chained. Seeing retail thefts was exceedingly rare. In fact, let me show you a Google Street view of that street. So here's Geary Boulevard. This is 17th Street. And this is the Walgreens that was in the news report. And we can see walls looking kind of crappy. We've got the bus stop with some litter over here, trash can all filled up, some stuff on the ground. We can see a boarded up window because obviously the windows have been broken. This is January 2023 footage, by the way. And we keep going down the street. By the way, this is where the Blockbuster used to be. You can see all the weird rust, stuff pouring down the top here, not very well maintained. So yeah, this, what used to be a Blockbuster here many, many years ago. This space has obviously been vacant for a while. You can see it's all covered up. You see graffiti over here. We go down this way, all covered up, more graffiti, graffiti, graffiti. Over here, graffiti. People loitering over here. And you can see in the distance there's the theater I was talking about that I used to go to as a kid. And let me show you guys what it used to look like. So here's the theater in 1964. It's been around for a long time. Old construction, very solid, stands the test of time. Now this theater stopped operating in 2004, but I used to go to it all the time as a kid when it was operating. But here it is in 2011, many years after it closed down, wasn't in operation, and here you can see it's still in relatively good condition. This area is all open. Doesn't seem to be much graffiti or anything broken. But now we go back to the Google Maps and let's take a look at the condition it's at today. And you can see the entire area is barred off. The signage is stripped bare. You can see there's tape, there's graffiti on the door here. The letters are missing. Graffiti all over the top up here. I mean, it is just a mess. But that's the San Francisco of today. And I want to show you something else. So here's the Walgreens pharmacy. We'll tag that right there. And let's zoom out. This is a map of San Francisco, and you can see this is way over on the west side of town. This is a very residential area, and people who understand San Francisco know that most of the problem, historically, and even still today for the most part, has been in the downtown of San Francisco, way over here on the east side. But as you heard in the video that we watched, you can go back and view it again if you want. The police officer talked about how these suspects take the 38L bus. That's a Muni bus. They take it all the way from downtown and they take it all the way through Geary Street till they get here to commit their crime, because so many of the Walgreens have closed in this area. They have to go to other areas to find Walgreens, and they go and commit their crimes over here. Usually the shoplifting, the homeless type crimes would happen all in downtown areas. It would rarely get out into the outer Richmond, central Richmond, the residential areas, but it's happening. Also, can we note this stock image for Walgreens Pharmacy? I mean, it's like a United Nations of doctors right here. We got all the different races, and we have an equal amount, it seems, of women and men. Wow, how progressive, how DEI, how ESG. By the way, another fun fact, another place I used to go to while I was here by this theater is this little comic book store where I would play Magic the Gathering. And if we zoom in here, you can still see the Magic the Gathering sign right over here. That was good times. So I'd say that's pretty wild. Have you ever seen a freezer section chained up because so many people were stealing out of the freezer section? Let me know in the comments down below what you think about all that, what you thought about the video. And yeah, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Social media links are in the description box below, as well as merch. Support us at nuancebro.com/join and support today's video sponsor, because that's how we keep the channel going. And I'll see you next time, bro.